What if Einstein opened the Pandora's box of physics when he pulled the concept of curved space out of his hat? What if Einstein led physicists on a journey of over 100 years? Yes, what if it is not space that is expanding?
What if the nuclei of atoms have congestion areas of energy that is dispersed into space? Which recycle dark energy that is dispersed into space? From which are created particles that can be registered, such as electrons and photons, which are still composed of energy that is dispersed into space. I.e., they also expand all the time in the same proportion as matter and light expand. The heart expands pulse by pulse and the rest of the body evenly, whereby the expanding body compresses the heart that is expanded precisely as a pulse, and thus the expanding blood is compressed into the expanding blood vessels. An expanding falling apple must be pushed away from the center of the expanding earth, and when you drop it, it will still push away from the center of the expanding earth, but slower than the surface of the expanding earth. Yes, the movement of the sun in the sky is an illusion. Maybe the movement of the falling apple towards the center of the earth is also an illusion. Is the universe a master of illusion? Is the universe fooling physicists and cosmologists? Is the universe fooling everyone but me? Maybe I am the dude after all, the one, the man who figured out how the universe really works. Yeah, space doesn't emit light or anything else, yet they claim that it is space that is somehow expanding. They don't say anything about how or why it is expanding. And expanding space is a completely religious concept. A completely religious concept. The high priests of the Big Bang cult proclaim the message of these gods who are called by these names. Oh yeah. Expanding space, curving space, wavy space, bubbling space, twisting space, extra spatial dimensions. Dark matter with an inexplicable ability to attract observable matter. Dark energy that somehow, some way to somehow makes expanding space expand faster. Some way to somehow. Ho, ho, hoo, ho, ho, ho. Physicists have a ridiculous bracket monster on their hands. I can tell you how and why particles like quarks and photons expand. I can describe how more energy spreading out into space is pushed into expanding quarks and expanding photons all the time, and how they're able to slow down the speed of the energy spreading out into space, pushing in and stopping it all the time more into themselves. However, they do not have the ability to bind it to themselves, so that this pushing force that spreads out into space is directed out of them, with the help of which these traffic areas like congestion areas of energy that spreads out into space push each other away from each other in the same proportion as they expand. My argument about expanding quarks, electrons, and photons is scientific. Einstein's argument about curved space is not even science. Matter and light can be studied scientifically, and matter has even been made to expand in atomic bombs. No one has ever tried to make expanding space expand faster. Hardly anyone has even considered how one could try to make this expanding space in the name of God expand faster. Only losers explain observations with the help of a space that does tricks. That way, we will never achieve a theory of everything in physics. We can try to manipulate the trajectory of expanding light using expanding lights that have experienced billions of years of entropy. Once this experiment is done, no one will believe Einstein's silly theory about space doing tricks anymore. Google subordinate and read more about how the universe really works. Expanding galaxies were born rapidly from the center outwards, and scientists have already seen this with the James Webb Telescope. They just don't understand what they are witnessing when they see ready-made and massive galaxies in a very young observable universe. I was the only one who predicted these observations correctly. In fact, so now, Google Savaranan. Google Savarinen, Google Savarinen, Google Savarinen.